I have a really cool and creative effect that I like using for vocals to give them more depth and width and an almost ghost-like texture. And today I wanted to share it with you. So I'm sitting here with a vocal and a session, and the goal is to create two different artificial doubles together with a ghost-like reverb that is a bit ethereal and surreal. First of all, let's have a listen to how it sounds so far without any additional effects.
A blue collared shirt and it tastes like dirt, like a king wears a crown.
I'm sure some of you will ask why I'm using stereo files for the vocals. And the answer is that these are stems from an old mix, and I always print my stems in stereo. So the first step is to duplicate the lead vocal track. And on top of that copy, I'm adding one of my favorite doublers called ADT. And ADT was invented for the Beatles in the 60s by one of the engineers at Abbey Road, Ken Townsend. And it was a really smart solution using two different tape machines and something called VariSpeed that varies the speed of the tape machine throughout the song, giving you an artificial double effect. And what I like about it is that it's kind of random and unpredictable because of that VariSpeed element. And you can even see that in the plugin up here, where the speed is moving up and down the whole time. So I'm adding a stereo version of this plugin to my vocal, and that gives us 3 channels of vocals, left, right, and center. And center is of course our original vocal, and I don't want to have that in this track, so I'm removing that. And I'm panning the 2 doubles left and right. I'm also adding a bit of saturation to these doubles, and I love the saturation of this plugin. It's really warm and fuzzy and tape-like. So now I'm committing this track into a stereo file, and this is something I do a lot when I mix, and it's a really good way to keep your sessions clean and tidy. But secondly, it's also a really good psychological trick because it forces you to take decisions and to move forward in the mix. And now I'm taking this committed track and I'm splitting it into 2 mono files. And the reason I do that is because I want to treat the left and the right side separately. And on each side, I'm adding a really cool plugin called the Vocal Bender. And the Vocal Bender allows you to play with the formant and the timbre of the sound, making it appear as if it's pitched up or down, even though the actual pitch stays the same. So on the left side, I'm bringing the formant down a bit, and on the right side, I'm bringing it up a bit. The next step is to send both of these to a chorus, and I'm using a dimension D as always. And the second plugin I put on this auxiliary is Waves Lo-Fi. And that's also one of my favorite plugins for adding 8-bit, crunched effects to drums and vocals. But for this purpose, I'm only adding some distortion to the vocals. So now you have your 3 layers ready, and it's time to blend them together. And here's a quick example.
A blue collared shirt and it tastes like dirt, like a king.
So now it's time to create a reverb. And the first step is to duplicate the original lead vocal again, giving us 2 copies. And they will be our reverb send. And I'm using a Valhalla reverb here. And my first reverb send track is sent into that reverb almost untouched, just with a bit of filtering on the bottom and top and a bit of delay. And the second one is pitched up a full octave, sounding a bit like a mouse, I guess. But I didn't want the full-on mouse vibes. I brought down the formant to make it a bit darker. And I realized that it kind of gave a random and weird effect too.
A blue collared shirt.
Making the vocal sound like it's dropping down and up in pitch randomly. But I like that. I like a bit of randomized creation when I'm mixing. And now I'm sending both of these into my Valhalla reverb with a bit of EQ, adding a 20 millisecond pre-delay and a 1.5 second reverb decay. So all that is left now is to blend these 4 layers, our main vocal, our doubles, and our reverb. And finally, here is everything together.
We're gonna have
you want to dive into one of your mixes with me, or discuss any specific topic you're struggling with, or even career advice, I'm offering one-on-one coaching sessions. And as a thank you for supporting me on YouTube, I'm also giving away a 30-minute free session to anyone out there who's interested. And all you have to do is to leave a comment and write free session. And then click on the link in description, which will take you straight to my booking calendar. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to meeting you.